Hey y'all, I did not get the experience I thought I would get at Pyramid Lake. I first went and I landed at the pyramid shaped rock, and first there was a spirit there who tried to tell me they were a guide, but I was like, I don't think so. You're not a guide, you're just a spirit that lives here. And he left because I identified him, and then the wind kicked up and cleansed the area. And then I wasn't greeted by a guide, but there was, when I say a spirit, I mean like the energy of the lake was there, and it didn't feel right. Something was off. It was stagnant, and it felt oppressive, although peaceful, which is weird. And then I was swimming in the water. Suddenly, swimming in the water, and it felt so like there's something in this water that is dangerous. This lake is haunted, heavily haunted. And so I asked to identify what was going on, and guys, I think all of the rumors about all of the bodies that are in Lake Tahoe, I think they were really in Pyramid Lake. And they weren't Chinese working the railroads. They were indigenous Americans. And I spoke to them, and they'd been trapped there since, I was told, like a couple hundred years, and there was some kind of massacre. And I'm guessing it was around 1850s, 1860s, but that feels too late. Like late 1850s maybe. And these indigenous Americans were massacred by white people, and their wrists and their ankles were bound. And I can't be positive, but I think they were all tied together, but their wrists and their ankles were definitely bound, and they were thrown in the lake. Now the bodies are long gone because it's not as deep as Lake Tahoe. So the bodies would have decomposed, been eaten by the fish, and the rest of them would have decomposed into soil by now. And so there are no bodies, but I was able to call in some spirits to help them release. And we released their bindings, and we left them with lots of spiritual offerings like corn and wheat and peaches and other fruits and vegetables, so that they could take these things with them on their journey, so that they can finally be released and rest in peace and move on to their next incarnation and work with their ancestors and their descendants. And I'm hoping a lot of them got released, if not all of them. But it was very sad, and they just wanted me to tell their story. That's all they wanted. And I asked what the lake needed, what the land needed, and they said everything was fine here. I mean, they took me on a journey way, way, way back to the ancient origins of this lake. It apparently used to be an inland sea, way back when, and the land surrounding it was really marshy. And I'm seeing cattails and reeds and stuff. And the people that lived there were bird hunters. I'm seeing them hunting birds, shooting birds out of the sky with those bola things and with things that looked like boomerangs. And that's how they lived. And there was, I don't know what kind of grain it was. It was either wheat or like wild rice or something like that, that they that grew around the marshy areas. And then I'm seeing, I saw all that and how the people were thriving, but there was a lot of coming and going through there, especially over time, and the landscape and the ecosystem changed because they all scattered and went on trading missions and whatnot. I'm seeing a lot of them going down to Mexico and over to the West Coast on trading missions and resettling elsewhere. But then the people that lived there, it's probably Washoe people and Paiute. Am I saying that right? Paiute people. And I'm seeing them thriving and doing very well in the Pyramid Lake area in the 1800s until the white people came. The white people disrupted the ecosystem and the hunting and the water, and everything started to suffer. And so they couldn't, the way the white people were basically graping the land, it essentially left it impossible for them to coexist with the people that already lived there. They were taking all and leaving none. And so that caused a lot of conflict, and that led up to this huge massacre that left all of these indigenous people dead in the lake. There were a lot of people, and it was really sad. But they just wanted me to tell their story. And they said, since everything was thriving before the white man came, what the land needs, the land and the water and the sky, what they all need is they need to be given back to the stewards of the land, which are the indigenous Americans, because white people do not treat the land with respect. And that's their story. So, if you're still here, thank you. And I just want to say that I'm trying to do one of these a day. There are currently like 17 or so requests in my list, and as I do each video, I'll tag you in the comment that you left with the location that you requested. So I'm trying to do one a day. So if you don't see your comment show up in a video right away, it'll take some time. But anyway, I love you. Bye.